At this time, I'd like to call in our Zeta, please.
Ask your question.
Thank you for being present tonight. We have guests, and they haven't had the pleasure of meeting you. Is there anything you'd like to say to them by way of introduction?
Understand that many of us are here with you. We take physical form in the human form, but we have been here on this planet for more than you understand. We are here to help guide and aid in this planet. Not to protect it, not to change it, but to guide it, to guide those that are on it. I am of the existence of the individual sitting in front of you, but yet of a parallel life. I exist in a ship that is just beyond your atmosphere. We observe, we record, we collect data upon this planet. We analyze it. And then we provide information to help guide certain aspects of this planet. There are many of us, there are many different beings here on this planet, as well as where I am. We are in your government, we are in your societies. You would not know we are here. There will become a time that we will make our presence known. This time is coming, but it is still far off.
Thank you for that information. As you know, we're doing an interview for someone about Zetas, because as we've spoken of earlier, they tend to get a bad rap, and we'd like to put out positive information about the Zetas. May I ask you a few questions about that?
You may.
So one of the questions was, someone observed that Zetas seem to work in threes when they temporarily detain humans, which I don't like that term, but can you tell me what that means?
When we make our presence known in our physical form to the human form, yes, we come in numbers. We do come in threes, but we also do come in other, as you would call it, parties. We do this in numbers as not to frighten, but to have a presence. Each of us carries a different energy. The collective energy that we bring has a particular effect on the human form. When we are in presence, it has a calming effect. If we were to come as one or two, there may be a disturbance. 3 is what we have found to be a calming number, or more. You've recently had an experience where you have been introduced to many others. There were many there in presence. Though they weren't there in physical form, they projected themselves to you. Though you were not frightened, this is because of the energy that they project upon you. Though if only one was to show themselves to you, you may have been disturbed. It is because of the resonance of our energy. So we must control it, manipulate it, as you would say, in order for it to be of comfort for you.
Thank you, that makes sense, and you're right. When I saw all of those beings, it was comforting, actually. Someone else wanted to know if the Zeta eyes, which in all of the pictures and things that we've seen look black, are they not black, but perhaps those are nictitating lenses? Tell me about that, please.
What you must understand is that our physical form has been through many, many changes. Yes, appearing to you they would be black, but it is yet a filter that is in place to protect our vision, as you would call it. It is different than what you perceive, but it is to protect that sensory spot from the harmful effects of your atmosphere, your sun, and other, as you would say, environmental factors here on this planet. So it's not, as you would think, an eye as a human has. It's more of a sensory organ. So it must be protected against certain things in order for it to sense the appropriate, as you would say, frequency. We see by frequency, we see by vibration, we sense things. So it is not necessarily, as you would call it, an eye, but it is a sensory organ.
Thank you. And then would we see it as white, that organ?
If the protective lens is removed, yes, it would be white, but there would be other pieces to it. There would be other, as you would call, colors, but it's not necessarily colors. It's the sensory organ itself takes shape just behind that shield.
Interesting. Thank you very much. We talked before about how many different types of zetas or hybrids there are. Are they named? Like there's something called the Zuma Zeta, which I've never heard of. Do they have names to you all as well? And how many are there? Different units and groupings?
You have to understand that, yes, there are many different units, different, as you would call, species or groupings. There are names given to them, but we are not concerned about the names. There are many that take shape. You know our form. You understand our form. You call it the gray. And there are many others that come from different locations of different types of planets, so they take a form that is customary for that planet. Some of these planets that they come from, some of the existences that they come from are of a gaseous planet, so they'll take a different form, or an aqueous planet that takes a different form, or one that there is no atmosphere at all will take another form. We are not concerned by the names, but it is though through communication that we know we exist. We telepathically communicate, we send information telepathically, energetically, all throughout the universe. That is how we know we are of existence, as well as the other beings, as you call them.
So what's the commonality then? What makes them all zetas, since they're not all from Zeta Reticuli, or are they originally, or how does that work?
The original, as you call it, DNA is from Zeta Reticuli. It has been mutated throughout time, so then it has taken different form. So the base, as you would call it, base DNA is that of Zeta, but it has been hybrid with other beings. There's been much work to come back to a pure Zeta breed, but it is difficult. We are not yet there. But it is an existence that is on its path. It is not to be concerned about how the manipulation has taken place or how the mutations have taken place. But understand that, yes, there was one particular DNA strand at one particular point, but it has been manipulated over a period of time, beyond all that you can comprehend, but it has been manipulated. So the being that you perceive now as the Zeta is, yes, a hybrid of many others, but at its core, it retains the Zeta DNA.
I see, thank you. And is there a Zeta dolphin hybrid?
That would be one. You call it a dolphin. It's not as what we perceive your dolphins on your planet to look like, but yes, that would be what you would call it. It is one from an aqueous planet.
Very neat, thank you. Before we close, do you or does the collective have a final parting message for us, please?
From where we sit, the realm that we exist, what we want you to all understand, all beings of this planet. You have come here for a purpose. You have made agreements prior to coming to this planet. You have an understanding of why you have come to this planet, but there is much distraction from the true existence of why you are here. Open yourself up to the understanding that there is a greater whole to all things. There is an existence just beyond what you understand. When you come into alignment with this understanding, there is much to be had in the physical form as well as in your energetic being, your guidance system. It is now time to set forward. Set this in motion for all existence here on this planet. Allow yourself to become aware. Aid others in this process as well. There are many just like you all around you. This is what you have been brought here for. To aid in this understanding by the means that you understand, in the voice that you have, in the knowledge that you have, in a way that others will understand. That is the greater purpose for all beings here on this planet. From our realm, things are just as they should be. But do not allow the distractions of what you would say life to get in the way. Allow that momentum to move forward and allow your expanse to be all that is. Allow your energy to rise above all that is. Begin to sense that energy well up inside of you and be your guiding force, your guiding light, your beacon to others. That is what we want you to understand.
Thank you again ever so much for being present with us this evening.
As always, the collective is here for your knowledge, your information, and your love.